Hi everyone, Hadley here with Hillcrest Tennis. Today we are going to do a bag check and we're going to kind of go through some of the things, some of the essential items that I think are important, especially for match play. And it's always important, especially with these USTA matches. Weather is always questionable. And so anyway, we're going to go through the bags and we're going to go through your bag check, and we're going to show you some of the things, some of the essential items I think are important. Okay, so first off, we're going to talk about string. So I always have a set of string in my bag in the event that I break a string or anything like that. I've always got 1 to 2 sets of string on hand, always in my bag. Second off, I have a towel. I always like to, your hands get kind of sweaty, and it's always a good time to have your towel with you. You can take it to the back fence, take some time to take your time in between points. Okay, second off, we have, they call it K-tape, or, tape that you can put on your elbow, on your knee, on your back, all of that stuff. That's super, super good to have on hand, especially in a pinch. Okay, next I have a water bottle. I always have my water bottle on hand with ice cold water or with electrolytes. It's always important to make sure that you're refueling / making sure that you're it's specifically with electrolytes. That's very important. Okay, next, I always have cans of balls or a basket of balls with me. It's always important to have specifically a fresh can of balls. Next is sunscreen. Having that always is important. Next, I always have ibuprofen or aspirin, something you're always going to need it. Somebody else is always going to need it. That's these little packets you can get. They're awesome because then you don't have to carry around a bottle. So I always have this on hand anytime. Okay, and then athletic tape in the event that you get a blister or a cut. This is always good. They don't rub off like a Band-Aid does. And I always have these little packets. This is Crystal Light, but I always have these like electrolyte packets that I can throw in my water. They can make a huge difference, especially if you're feeling depleted in the middle of a match. Add that to your water. It'll give you that little boost almost instantly. So I always have a little Ziploc baggie of these items. And with all of this stuff, like the little item stuff, you compile it in a little bag, and then you have it on hand, and every once in a while you just have to go through it and just check. But having these items on hand, you'll be surprised at how much you refer to these in matches, because it's always better to be prepared than to be frantic, and then you end up losing because you can't find what you need, and then asking from other people, or trying to go in the clubhouse and try and find something. So it's always important to have it on hand. Okay, next, going kind of along with that string is having grips. So I love these over grips. These are the Wilson Pro Over Grip. They're the non-perforated ones, because I feel like these are a little bit tackier. So before each match, I rewrap my grips every match, and you can buy a big tub of them. Online, Tennis Warehouse, Tennis Express, they have them. But these are a huge game changer, especially if you sweat a lot. I feel like this really makes a huge difference in how your hand feels when you're hitting the ball. And then also just a replacement grip. These are always good just to have on hand. And then in the event that you use dampeners, I always think that these are a huge help to have in your bag, because we had a member the other day, her dampener broke, and because she had a backup one, she was able to use the backup in the middle of our match. So having those things on hand is so important so that you're not worried about other things. You just pop one, go in your bag, grab it, put it back on. Okay. And then I always have a hat and I always have sunglasses, always, especially if you're playing in the afternoon. Okay, that wraps up our bag check. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you here next week. Sorry, JR.